Hey guys, we're John coming at you with another Diablo Immortal video. For this one, what we're going to talk about is going to be these family bonuses here. Now, I only have one piece of gear that is actually at the correct level to unlock these family bonuses, but I'm noticing when I start doing the math for figuring out what skills I exactly want on each one of my pieces of gear, and also what I'm looking at here with each family bonus, I don't think these are really all that cracked up to be like they make it seem like. All right, so some of you guys do know I did a video covering Reforge stones earlier on, where I kind of went through and I set up a bunch of my Reforge stones the way I wanted them to be. I tried to get these stats like exactly like the ones that I wanted to get here, so that way I could kind of be set up for success. However, obviously, with making other content, with swapping out pieces of gear, I've lost a lot of these Reforge stones. And unfortunately, it's caused some problems, and now I'm noticing more and more that it's not, these family bonuses aren't as good as we really think they are. Like, for example, guys, I want to pull this up here. Now, this particular one has attack speed and primary attack damage. Those are both solid attributes, but notice that these are on two different sets. Okay, not the end of the world. However, when we start looking and diving into this a little bit more, as far as like what you want to be doing with Forge stones, is you really want to be making sure to maximize the amount of damage that you're going to get. So when I go over here and I look at the family bonuses, when we actually break this down, if you look at it, all these have a cooldown on, which they don't really specify, right? Like this one right here, you have a 2% chance when you defeat an enemy to summon a fireball spitting Hydra. However, it's a 20-second cooldown. And some of you may say, well, it's only 2%. Well, sure, but if you go through and you look at the skills on this one, right? Like if you're gonna go this route, you're gonna go primary attack and skill damage here, and critical hit damage, right? Like these are the three stats you're gonna get for the wildfire set that you want to have on each character. So these are cool, these are good to have. So you could have up to, 6 of these, right? There's 6 different spots here. So that means 6 times 2 is 12. So that gives you a 12% chance with a 20% cooldown. Granted, yes, that is no different than a legendary gem in the game. However, the fact that you're sacrificing so much for what in return, let's put it that way. For example, because I'm a demon hunter, I really like to have this attack speed increase. However, if I go look at the set bonus that's tied to that one, right? So what is that one? Vengeance, I believe. That's it. Like what other stat am I going to take here? So unfortunately, they've really limited what family bonuses you're going to want to get on each piece of gear to a very minimal few, it's what happens is you upgrade pieces of gear, you lose a lot of these Reforge bonuses. It's kind of criminal, unfortunately, and it's one of those things where it takes a lot of resources to get these to land properly, right? You'd have to use a lot of Reforged stones to get, for example, the Vengeance set. And honestly, if you're going to do this set, you're going to grab attack speed. You're going to grab, if you're PvP oriented, you're going to grab damage to players increased, and you may grab damage to enemies suffering loss of control increased, or shielded enemies maybe is probably going to be a better one to grab, like this one with these two here. That's probably going to be the only two you're going to take to get the Vengeance, which is the primary attacks have 2% chance to increase all damage you deal. Now, this is amazing for a demon hunter. This isn't amazing for anyone else, but it's things like that have to be considered when thinking about family bonuses on these items. And I think, in general, it's not worth it. I think you're going to have a better option going through and going through each set and going, you know what, I think I really want to get primary attack resistance healing. Like, you're probably not going to pick this, right? But you would have a better chance and a better result, I feel like, by trying to pick individual skills that you wanted over trying to go with a family bonus. This is no different than a lot of us come from like a gacha game mentality and background where a lot of people go stats over sets, right? In this case, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to go pick your stats over your family set bonus, right? Because in the grand scheme of things, what you lose by doing this is pretty tremendous, because I don't think you can get to the same stat on the same piece of gear. At least not that I'm aware of. I haven't been able to do it yet, but you might be able to actually reforge these and get the correct stat for whatever you want to get, right? Let's see if we can go ahead and land another one on here. But yeah, see, well, I don't know what that is, but we'll take that because both these were totally crap. Sure. Anyways, but for example, I don't think that you can get all the same duplicated on here. And if you were to try to do that, I think it'd cost way too many Forge Stones. However, I think you'd have a better luck getting like primary attack, skill damage, and then attack speed. Like, I think those would be good ones. Or even if you get crit damage, attack speed, so on and so forth, all those going to be good, because unfortunately to get these stats, you have to do a random Reforge Stone, which then gives you a chance to land any of these, right? If you want these individually, you do have to spend a lot of orbs to get these, and it's not something that even as a free to play that you can get. And even myself, the reason why I bring this up is because now that I'm not spending in the game, I'm not investing in the game anymore. I'm not even buying the battle pass. Like, if we go look at it, I still have not bought the battle pass. I don't plan on buying the battle pass. Do I think you're a whale because you do? Absolutely not. Are you still free to play friendly? In my opinion, if you buy this, absolutely. I mean, it's the only thing, in my opinion, that has the best value in the game for like $5 a month, because I could see up to spending $50 to $60 on this game, because it'd be no different than buying a AAA title game, right? So we're in season 5, so even if all you bought was the battle pass for 5 seasons, you spent $25. I mean, whatever, who cares, right? That's minimal in my opinion. So, but at my point, I've spent well over this, right? I'm at $2,500. I'm not buying this anymore. I'm done. We're not buying any more that Mortal has to offer. Maybe down the road, let's say they change some of the way they do things, maybe I will. Maybe I'll get back into spending. But as for right now, I don't have any intention on it, because I'm trying to better understand what I'm noticing trend-wise. And one of the trends that I'm noticing is the fact that I'm not getting a whole lot of these Reforge Stones. So if I were to try to roll a lot of my pieces of gear to get family bonuses, because I think, you know, I look at a family bonus and go, oh man, that'd be so cool to have, right? Like, the one I have now, you have a 2% chance when you defeat an enemy to summon a fireball spitting Hydra. I don't even know that I've seen this yet. I don't even know if I've seen that procced. So something like that I could have wasted an ungodly amount of Forge Stones on to get. I actually just looked into this one. I had 2 of them. And then when I upgraded to 16, used one on it, I got the primary attack here. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna call it good. I didn't try. This was literally, I got super lucky that I got all 3 of the skills that we'd want on this. But yeah, and generally speaking, it would not be worth it for me to go through and try to get all 3 of those on everything else, and then you go, okay, yeah, I got it, and we're good to go. It's just not gonna, it doesn't make sense. It's gonna take too many Reforge Stones. There's too many different attributes that go into it. It's no different than the RNG that goes into charms, right? Like, yes, I've gotten super lucky and I have 2 8% chances on my charms that I use and a 4% here, but I don't even use knockback anymore. But it's literally, it's stuff like that I think does make a massive difference. And it takes a lot of your resources. So don't gamble away all of your Reforge Stones just to try to get the family bonuses. I don't think it's going to be worth it for you in the long run. I really don't. You're going to be better off going for each individual stat, and you get more options this way, right? Like when we look at the Reforge and we go ahead and let's say we wanted to go Reforge something else. Like this whole piece right here is nothing but garbage other than the life regen. But if I wanted to go through this, look at the stats that I can get. It's a random ability. So it's literally one of these, right? I have at least 7 or 8 options that are pretty good. So it's not like I'm limited to going, okay, if I wanted to only get the stat bonus, that I have to get this one set or this one family bonus set, right? Well, I don't need to. There's a lot of other options out there. It makes a lot more sense, like this right here. We're gonna take that. Critical hit damage increased by 2.5. Yep, we'll take that, no problem. But for example, life regeneration by 1.5%, that's not terrible. That's not a bad one to have. Would it be wise of me to re-roll this? Absolutely not. Because what am I, yeah, I'll get damage, sure. But how many Reforge Stones is gonna take me to get to another equivalent stat? I got lucky with this one, but let's just say on average, it takes 5 to 8 to get a acceptable stat. Well, at that point, then you have a min and max, right? So let's say you want to min max it. So for example, I got the critical hit damage one up here, right? So that gave me, and that max there was 3. So let's say I was a completionist and I wanted to get the 3% and I kept rolling this. How many more stones would it take me? How much would this cost me? And then so on and so forth to hit all in the one set. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Definitely take the family set with a grain of salt. If you land it accidentally or with minimal investment, then that's awesome for you. Great job. But generally speaking, I could not sit here and advise anybody out there to take the time and reroll every single piece of gear to get the family bonus. Now, I would say pick a list of 5. I'll do another video later this week and I'll list out what the top ones should be that you should probably go for. And I would say take a list of 5 skills that you're willing to have on your pieces of gear, and then roll individually until you hit one out of those 5. I wouldn't worry about going up and finding like, oh, is this a min max? Like this is a 2.5, not a 3. God forbid I'm losing that 0.5%. Does it really matter? Absolutely not. Are you going to see that much of an increase? No, you're not. Same thing when you're going from, for example, like what is this? A primary attack damage 2 to 4%. Sure, 2% damage on 30k is it's a decent number, right? So if we say 30,000, which is typical of a crit hit right now, and you say you get a 2% additional, sure, you get another 600 damage, not even a full 1,000 damage. So is it really life-changing or damage-orienting by min-maxing these? No, absolutely not, especially for those who are very low spend or free to play. Now, if you're a whale, if your JT is all business and you got all the money and you got that black credit card, like, sure, go for it. But even then, I don't even think he's trying to do that, guys, because it just doesn't make any sense. So definitely take your stats over your family bonus, pay attention to what you're doing, make a list, think ahead, and definitely reforge as you need to. I wouldn't worry about making this a priority by any means. Honestly, I think getting your charms done is easier than getting your reforged stones done, honestly. This did not take me very long. This was very lucky. I shouldn't say this was very lucky. I got very lucky. And even then, even though I haven't been spending, I'm still getting a bunch of charms. Even this one right here was 100% what I've gotten so far. And this is going to be for a future build that I'm working on. And I just tried to roll into 2 Vengeance imbues that I got lucky and got. And I already have a few over here that I got to upgrade to get ready to go into that one. So it definitely take things with a grain of salt. Pay attention to what you're doing. Try not to waste your resources. That's the message at the end of the day. I hope this helps you understand a little bit more about the family bonuses and how it's okay to use stats over the family bonus. And if it does, please like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree with what I'm saying, or do you think that this is just an asinine thing to say? I'm always curious to hear what the community thinks. And yeah, can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.